Good evening and welcome to Arizona Illustrated for Monday, the 3rd of December, 2012. I'm Tony Paniagua. There are hundreds of different jobs that Americans can do across the country, but only a few of them require people to put their lives on the line every day. Tonight, we will tell you about a documentary that delves on this topic and that you can watch right here in Tucson Wednesday night. Joining us in the studio is Sierra Franklin, who works with the 100 Club of Arizona. Also with us is Buck Marsala. He is a board member with the Eric Hite Foundation. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us, Tony.
Thank you. Sierra, let's begin with you. So what is the 100 Club of Arizona all about?
Well, the 100 Club began in Phoenix, actually, in 1968 and has today become a statewide organization. We provide support to the families of law enforcement and fire agencies across the state. That includes federal, tribal, county, city, state, all employees who are behind the badge, sworn and certified. We are there when tragedy strikes, if there's a line of duty death, line of duty injuries, non-line of duty deaths. We are there to provide financial support and also emotional support for those families who may be suffering through a tragedy.
Okay, and Buck, what about the Eric Hite Foundation? We were speaking ahead of this interview. You are a nurse, but you decided to get involved with this organization.
Yeah, the Eric Hite Foundation provides child care and family outreach to first responders. And I got involved in it in the fact that I was the nurse that took care of Eric the day he was shot, and ended up staying friends with Noemi, and she asked me to be a board member of the foundation, which I gladly chose to do.
All right, and just for the record, Eric Hite was a Tucson police officer who died in 2008.
That's correct.
Okay, and Sierra, so we are talking a little bit about this documentary. It's called Heroes Behind the Badge. Why do you encourage people to take part in this event on Wednesday?
Well, Heroes Behind the Badge is a documentary that was filmed to benefit the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund. And it's to show America what are those who did behind the badge, what they do every day. They put their lives on the line. Some of them are, all of them are willing to pay the ultimate sacrifice for their jobs, and some of them, unfortunately, do pay the ultimate sacrifice. And I think that it will give the public a better understanding of what they're doing, have more respect for, it's not a bad cop. Cops aren't there to get you in trouble. They're there to protect you. They're there to help the community and serve the community. And they'll go any mile that they can to help the community. So I think this will give the public a better understanding of what they really do behind the badge.
And pretty much the same sentiments from you, Buck, as far as what the police officers and firefighters are doing for us on a daily basis?
Yeah, they have tough jobs, and they are putting their lives on the line. I was a reserve officer for Pinal County Sheriff's Department. I have a number of my family members who have been officers, and it's important that the average people know what these guys go through every day and how other people's lives are affected by an incident, so to speak, when an officer gets shot. Whether they're just injured and their lives will be impacted for years to go if they have any disabilities, or if they pay the ultimate price and they're gone to us forever.
And Sierra, you are now working for the 100 Club of Arizona, but there was a point when you were a recipient of their assistance. Tell us a little bit about that, how that personally has impacted you.
Yeah, well, I was a recipient, fortunately, out of one of our proactive programs, our scholarship program, which began in 2007, and it provides scholarships to children and spouses of first responders throughout the state of Arizona. This year, we provided 86 scholarships totaling $322,000. When I first was a recipient, there was only 15 of us back in 2007, and I was able to finish my college years at ASU and get my education with the help of the 100 Club. And after I graduated, I went to give back. I wanted to give back to the organization that gave so much to me and my family.
And that's because your father is a firefighter in the Phoenix area?
Yeah, my father and brother are both Phoenix firefighters.
All right, great. And then, so Buck, how can people get involved with the Eric Hite Foundation? What can they do?
Well, we have a lot of programs. The biggest one is we have the Child Care Center where officers and first responders can bring their children there. The other thing is we have some family outreach programs that we have to support them. We have a couple of things coming up shortly that we're really excited about. We also have the Eric Hite Foundation annual run, and we do some other programs around the city too.
And same question for you, Sierra. Can people get involved, volunteering, donating? What can they do?
Oh, yes. We have so many opportunities for people to get involved. We are membership and donation based, so our charity relies on memberships. So you can visit 100club.org and find out how to become a member. Also, we have so many events, one almost every single weekend, and we would love to see the people of Tucson at one of those.
Why is this so important for you, this documentary, and just the overall theme, Sierra?
Well, I think that going to see this documentary will really give you a better understanding of a profession that you may not know anything about, or maybe you do, you've seen your parents do it, a friend, and it'll give you a better appreciation. Plus, it's right in downtown Tucson. It's going to be a great event. We're going to have 800 people there. You'll get to interact with our law enforcement and fire services, and we're even going to have special guests from the movie there, so you'll be able to talk with them about it too.
And then finally, sentiments as well, Buck. Why do you think it's important for people to realize what officers are doing for us every day?
Well, I think it's important, as she mentioned. My thing is I've seen a lot of this firsthand. I'm kind of in the trenches at the University of Arizona Medical Center in the trauma ICU. I've taken care of a number of police officers through the year, and I see what their families go through, and it's tough. And the public needs to understand that these guys are not the police officers are not the bad guys. They're the good guys, and they're out there to protect us. But as well as that, some of these incidents really affect their lives, and I see it firsthand.
Okay, thank you very much. Wednesday night, the Fox Theater at 7:30. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
The Tucson Police Officers Association is getting ready for an annual event that helps hundreds of underprivileged children in our community by buying them a present for the holidays. William Bonanno is the president of the organization, and he is here in the studio to give us the details. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Tony. Thank you for having me.
So this event is called Kids and Cops, and it's been going on for more than a dozen years. Tell us a little bit about the history, if you will, please.
Sure, that's correct. We've had this program for more than 12 years now. And basically what we do is we bring underprivileged children from throughout the Tucson community into Target, who is our big sponsor of this event. And we bring them into the store. This year will be on December 15th. And we'll have 300 kids that will pair up with an officer. And the concept is they're each given $100 to spend on pretty much anything they like.
How did this idea come about?
You know, it was started well before I was involved in the organization. Our founding fathers decided to put this program together. Somebody got the idea. It was a phenomenal idea, obviously. It's strictly funded through donations. And it's an opportunity for officers to kind of give back to the community and interact with children throughout the community.
And I know, for example, that in the media, a lot of times police officers are portrayed as somebody you want to stay away from, especially for lots of kids. This is a different version, if you will, of the police officers for kids to see, right?
Absolutely. This year we have a kind of a spokesperson for the program. He's a 7-year-old child that was involved with the program last year, and he's come to us, and his story is just remarkable at 7 years old. He ultimately had a bad impression of the police because we had a negative contact with his dad. We took his dad away and we'd arrested him. And his initial contact was, I can't believe these people are taking my dad away. And he's since, after becoming involved with our program, now come to us and told us that he, in fact, wants to become more involved and enlighten other children of his age and older on how different, the different contact that the police have and what our position is. And he's just tremendous, and he's even given us the idea that he has aspirations of becoming a police officer. So it's a really neat story.
And I'm sure it's also really neat for the police officers. We were talking ahead of this interview about how more and more kids are not just looking for toys, they're actually looking for things they need.
Yeah, that always wrenches at your heart, Tony. Each year, it's just amazing. We'll bring these kids in, and we remind them that this is for them. And we'll get started, and you would think typically a child would run to that toy section, and it's never the case. They're always wanting to go and buy clothes and things of that nature. And the other thing that we have to remind them often is they often want to buy for other people in their family, for mom, for dad, for tata, for their brothers and sisters, and we have to remind them that this is for them.
So even at that young age, they're cognizant of the need in the family, it seems like?
Very much so.
Mm-hmm. So why limited to 300? Is it based on the amount of donations that you have available and the money?
Yeah, that was the number that we found works for us, that we can guarantee each year. Again, as I said, this is solely based on donations that we receive from the community and through businesses. And we also have our officers who volunteer their time throughout the year in a variety of community events. where those organizations make contributions to our charitable organization. We are a 501c3, so we take those donations, and everything goes towards this Kids and Cops program. So that's the number that we've come up with that works each year. We'd love to expand on it down the road. For right now, though, it's 300 this year.
And if people want to contribute or get involved, or is there anything they can do if somebody happens to be listening to this?
Sure. We're on Facebook, first of all. We also have our charitable foundation website that people can go to and make charitable donations. We are available either through the mail or through PayPal. And we have some other things on there that they can become involved with. We have a number of different programs that we put on throughout the course of the year to include fingerprinting for children and things of that nature. So they can go to our website and take a look at all of that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. In general, what do you want to tell us about the Tucson Police Officers Association? What are some of the other tasks or programs that you're involved in?
Well, the primary responsibility of the Tucson Police Officers Association is it's the recognized bargaining agent for the men and women of the Tucson Police Department, the officers, the sergeants, and the detectives. That's our primary job and function. But as I mentioned, historically, we wanted to find other ways, not only to do the internal things that we do, but to go external and give back to the community. We have a number of different things that we do to take care of our officers within. But again, we'd like to show that relationship between the police officers and the community, that it's not just a negative light all the time. And quite often, as you know, the only contact that a lot of citizens have is when something bad has happened in their life. So this is an opportunity for them to have a positive interaction. So that's really the goal behind all of this. And like I said, we have a number of different programs that we try to put on. And again, everything comes down to time and money. But we try to have this positive interaction with the community.
You mentioned fingerprinting as another program. When does that happen and how does that work?
We provide that as a free service to a lot of the different organizations throughout the community. We have digital fingerprint equipment. It also takes pictures of the children. And what we do is we go and we set up. We have some of our volunteers from internal. And I'll just say that we not only have officers that volunteer their time, we have a lot of civilians within the department that volunteer their time that really make this program beneficial. But we'll take this fingerprint in and we'll fingerprint the kids, and it's something that we can give back to the parents in the event that they have an emergency or something.
All right. William Bonanno, thank you very much from the Tucson Police Officers Association. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Tony.
There's a picturesque church in Midtown Tucson that was built as a convent decades ago, and it continues to occupy a special place in the hearts and minds of many people. Tonight, we give you a brief introduction to the Benedictine Sisters of Perpetual Adoration.
We have the presence of the Lord in our chapel and through the Eucharist, which we worship and adore daily. But we're the house of God because we also have the presence of the Spirit of God in each of us and in everyone who comes here. So it's not just an ordinary house, it's a house of God in which we share in that grace and that gift and try to share that with others who come here too. Well, I'm Sister Joan Ridley. I guess I was a child of the 60s, so I became an activist, civil attorney, doing advocacy on behalf of the poor, worked for the federally funded Legal Services Corporation for some years. But when I was 48, it was probably a midlife kind of journey where I began to say, what really does change the world? And I became convinced of something I didn't know as a young person, but that what really changes the world is changing our hearts and our minds to embrace love and something bigger than ourselves. And so I was drawn to a more contemplative or prayerful expression of the religious commitment. So I transferred to the Benedictine Sisters of Perpetual Adoration.
Awake, O God, why do you sleep? Arise, do not reject us forever.
This building was constructed in 1940, and the architect was Roy Place, who designed the original Pima County Courthouse, the VA hospital, a lot of the older U of A buildings. At that time, architects must have had a lot more to do with how the construction turns out than some do today. And so he supervised it all and It's very well constructed, and as we'll see, it's got some beautiful features. It is 70 years old, so there are maintenance issues, and that's kind of what I've been involved with for a couple of years.
Well, my name is Sister Lenora Black, and I'm 85. I'm happy to be given this opportunity because I'm the one that's been in the monastery here in Tucson for the longest time, about 30 years in all. But I was really much more interested in a spiritual life that gave more opportunities for prayer and reading. And I just felt that I needed to experience, kind of make up for lost time, having not been a Catholic and not really had a chance to follow up on things liturgical. I felt liturgically deprived. I was fascinated by ritual. I grew up in a church that didn't have much of it.
We make church vestments for clergy, both Catholic, Protestant, whatever. And
denominations.
Any denomination. And we make altar cloths for the churches, banners. You can see some of the pictures over there later of banners that we've made. And we make, it's custom made, so we take orders. And then we ask them what they want, and they tell us that as far as we can make them.
Okay. We do our best. When I found the sisters, I was looking to deepen my faith, and I didn't really want to enter. I just wanted to get an experience of how to pray better, and then I was going to move on back into the business world. But when I came, the next thing I found myself doing was applying, and here I am.
I had not considered entering a contemplative group like this. I wanted to be a teacher. But then I read a little booklet on the Eucharist, which is our main focus here. And it was just so impressive that I wrote and asked for information, and they sent me an application blank. And so I entered. But it was, ever since I was a little kid, I just wanted to love God and do God's will. And I mean, it sounds very pious, but that was my motivation. We read a lot of books on the saints, and I thought, oh my, to be a great saint, even if go to a foreign land and be martyred, that would be my ideal. Well, I didn't go to a foreign land, I came here.
Just to say that as a person, I'm extremely happy to be part of this life and part of this community of sisters, part of the broader community of Tucson. We attract people to our life because it is a life of meaning and gives joy, and I really can say that about this life for me, and it's a grace and a gift, and that's all I want to say.
Our fall and winter temperatures in the Sonoran Desert are much like spring and summer in other parts of the country, where residents take advantage of the mild climate to grow their own vegetables. Here in southern Arizona, many people are already taking part in their own planting endeavors this season. And tonight we learn about one of these places. Caitlin Harrington has that interview.
In studio with me now is Melody Peters and Kara Welch. They're both here on behalf of the Rincon Community Gardens. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Melody, can you first start off by telling our audience what the Rincon Community Garden is and how it came about?
The Rincon Heights Community Garden is a community garden that we wanted in our neighborhood. So it's open, especially to neighborhood residents to garden in, but also outside people who are interested in having a garden plot. It came about after years of wishing for one. Came about because the Office of Community and Neighborhood Relations offered us a plot in the neighborhood that they owned. So it's a university-owned land, and we are contributing all the work and money that goes into construction. So it started off as a partnership, but we've taken the idea of a partnership and run with it, so that we're making a lot of contacts with the various academic departments in the university, trying to bring in their talent and expertise to make our whole gardening a much more successful and vibrant thing.
Kara, as Melody just mentioned, there is a University of Arizona partnership with this community garden. Can you talk to us specifically about how you come in as an entomology intern?
So I am a doctoral student with the entomology department at the University of Arizona, and we just started gardening, so we're hoping to have some plants in the spring. But we're hoping to put together some outreach materials, me and my fellow entomology intern, including things like this box. This is a box of beneficial insects and a box of well-known pests to answer any questions gardeners might have in the future, and put together presentations as pest problems arise to help with organic control of pests.
Melody, in the same realm as this box right here that we're talking about, and helping out gardeners to find out beneficial insects for the plants. We also were talking about the gardeners specifically, if they need to be experienced or advanced gardeners and may not have any idea about these type of things. And you said that you can have very beginners, is that right?
Absolutely. That's one of the beauties of community gardening and gardening in a group. We have gardeners who've had gardens in their own, homeowners who've had gardens in their own backyards for many, many years. And we have people who are brand new, who live in apartment buildings. Our neighborhood is 87% renters. So it's a great place to bring in young people and have them, who are transitory residents, and have them interact with our older residents. Definitely young people or inexperienced people of any age can join us.
And you referred to that as an intergenerational kind of gardening society, is that right?
Yes, that's right, yes.
So tell me about how many plots are currently being used. You just started the gardening process.
Yes, we just finished putting in the irrigation. We've been working on the filling the beds for several months. It's been a lot of sweat equity, but we have currently 18 beds that are up and running. And in probably a few months, once we get our breath and get some more work done, we'll have another 18.
Kara, can you talk to me, in addition to the insects that you'll be giving talks on, you have some plans for the future as well. What are some of the lessons you hope to bring to the new gardeners?
Well, we're focusing on building a pollinator garden, and we hope to possibly even incorporate some beekeeping. And we hope to use those insects to pollinate our plants, but as well we'd like to bring in some students from local schools and educate them as well.
Melody, we talked about that also in conjunction with a couple departments here in the University of Arizona. Other than just the community and neighborhood relations, who else are you working with here at the U of A?
Well, this past semester in the fall, we've been working with a plant science major who's been in one of the community garden classes offered by the Department of Geography. Next semester, we'll be working, of course, with the entomology students, but also with the water harvesting class. And we also have some students who are intellectually impaired, who are students here at the university in a special non-degree program, and the students who teach those students. Both groups of those students have been working in our garden as volunteers.
Now, I know that the 18 plots that you have currently are all in use, but can you tell our audience how much people pay to keep these plots and the types of things they can grow, and that way for the future plots that may be opening up in the next couple months, our audience can have that information?
Yes. Okay. So the rent on the plot is $10 a month, but it's paid 6 months or a year in advance. Okay. We luckily in Tucson can grow things all times of the year, so it's a real benefit of gardening in Tucson. So right now the cool weather plants are things like anything of the cabbage family, lettuces, radishes, carrots, any root crop. Then in the spring it would be more things like tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, okra as the weather warms up, corn. But we have gardeners who can give all of that information to anyone who doesn't know.
Well, Melody and Kara, thank you so much for joining me. We'll link your website on ours, and we look forward to seeing how the crops turn out in the next couple of months.
Good, thank you.
In tonight's video postcard from photographer and editor Santiago Batti, we take you on a short visit to Sanctuary Cove outside of Tucson. It's a place where you can be physically active or mentally reflective in beautiful surroundings. Coming up tomorrow night, how a Hollywood movie has provided a good role for Nogales, Arizona. Also, are you interested in helping hummingbirds? A licensed rehabilitator is seeking volunteers. I'm Tony Paniagua from all of us at Arizona Public Media. Have a great night.